The Atlanta Falcons, I believe they could be in a lot of trouble over the next couple of weeks. They start out 0-1 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was a game I believe they had to win because their next two games, they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kirk Cousins didn't look too hot in his Falcons debut. He had a couple of interceptions. He made some bad decisions with the football. He had some really bad misses. And if the Falcons start 0-3, we're going to come to a situation where we legitimately could see Kirk Cousins get benched very fast for Micheal Penix. Remember, this is Raheem Morris' second opportunity being a head coach in the NFL. And the first time he was the head coach for the Buccaneers, he failed mostly because he didn't have competent quarterback play. Now, with this being his second job, I'm pretty sure that if there's any signs that Kirk Cousins isn't the guy that he looked like last year before his injury, Raheem Morris is probably going to just cut bait and say, you know what, let's just go ahead and throw Micheal Penix out there. I believe that the Falcons drafted Micheal Penix not to just be their quarterback of the future, but to be their insurance policy just in case the Kirk Cousins signing didn't work out. There were some issues about how good was Kirk going to be, not just coming off that Achilles injury at his age, but he didn't get any snaps in the preseason. So he still is fairly new to this offense, new to his teammates, and it's going to take a while for him to get comfortable with the guys around him before he ends up playing at a competent level. And with him probably struggling these next couple of weeks due to rust, you wonder how patient are the Falcons going to be with waiting on Kirk Cousins to bounce back to form. What if this dude never bounces back? What if he just has fallen off due to father time, getting him with old age, and that Achilles injury setting him back as well? He's not the same player that he was prior to sustaining that injury. You know, I really believe that if the Falcons start 0-3, it's going to be a lot of chaos going on in that organization because you paid a lot of money to a quarterback that's not playing at the level that you expected, and you invested a top 10 pick into a quarterback that most of us presume is to be pro ready right now. Micheal Penix, if he was playing for the Raiders at this moment, he'll be their starting quarterback. So when you got a rookie quarterback that's this good sitting on the bench, you don't have a long leash if you're a guy like Kirk Cousins, especially when you got a guy Raheem Morris where there is a lot of pressure on him to get Atlanta into the postseason this year. If he ends up underachieving and Atlanta has an 8-9 record, they don't win this division, they miss out on the playoffs once again, he could get fired after this season. I think that's a fireable offense. Atlanta has enough talent where they should be a lock to make it into the playoffs. When they go out and trade for Matt Judon, they sign Justin Simmons, those are moves that you make because you believe that the iron's hot, you have everything you need to make a playoff push. You know, and if that doesn't happen, this fan base is going to be upset. This owner is going to be upset because he's been hearing that, you know, we got to rebuild for a while. He wants to win now. And you hire Raheem Morris over Bill Belichick. If you have Bill Belichick, do you lose to the Steelers in the fashion that you did? Would you have the quarterback situation going on that you currently have? You know, there's a difference between hiring a guy that's never won a Super Bowl before that failed at his previous job over a guy that's a multiple-time Super Bowl champion. Bill Belichick, as inept as what he is when it comes to assembling a competent offense, you know, he's good with the defense, and if you give him an already tailor-made team where he doesn't really have to make too many personnel tweaks to it, he can get you to the postseason. So the pressure is on for Raheem Morris. And if Atlanta does end up losing their first 3 games of this year, you already lost to Pittsburgh. If you lose to Philly next week and Kansas City the following week after, you got to look at Kirk Cousins. And if he isn't playing well in those games, if you're Raheem Morris, I really think you have that conversation. You say, you know what, bro, like, I don't really have enough time to sit here and wait for you to play better. We're just finna go ahead, bench you, and start Micheal Penix, bro. If you want to get traded, we got no problem trading you to another team that wants you, because I'm pretty confident the Raiders and the Giants would take Kirk Cousins with his contract in a heartbeat. With how bad their quarterback situations are right now, it's just, I couldn't imagine Kirk Cousins being the starter in Atlanta if they start out 0-3 for much longer. I mean, this is a team that is built to win. Their owner expects to win. This fan base expects to win. Hell, they expect to win. So if you start 0-3, it's a major disappointment for a team that has so much optimism and so much hope going into this year to start out so slow and sluggish. So Kirk Cousins has to put it together pretty fast. He has to figure things out, or if not, I really believe we see a world where he ends up getting benched